So what are your thoughts with like the biggest hip hop artists, right? They're going to these other platforms like the streamers like Kai Cenat, Aiden Ross, and then they're even going to these podcasters like a Bobby Altoff, who nobody knows where she came out of nowhere. Supposedly her dad is in the industry, so that's how she's popping, but they're not going to the established hip hop media brands.
I think where we stand, and I don't want to speak for everybody, it's do it all. It's like, yeah, do those. Like if that's what you want, if you're compelled enough to, you want to go on a streamer's site that, you know, may not get in depth about your music or your life or where you're at. If that's something you want to do, great. I think there's also the part of people who love and appreciate you and have been following you for a long time that would love to have an in-depth conversation about your work, your world, and what does this mean? And let's document, you know, another important milestone in your life.
Yeah. Because the Kais are fun. The Kais was fun.
Absolutely.
I was watching, I was like, oh, all right.
Yeah. And that's the thing. It's like, I enjoy watching Kai. Yeah. And I think it's one of those things, I just want everyone to do all of it because I also don't like putting people in a box. It's like, oh, you have to do this or you can't do this. Or that. It's like, no, I just think like for us who have like, you know, we're pretty, I don't know, fair in our perspective. I think we just want both. We want to experience both with you.
You're on a press run. Let's hear it all.
Yeah. Yeah, that's why I'm at. Do it all. It doesn't have to be one or the other. I have no issue with Kai. The Bobby thing was like weird. Well, but I was trying to figure it out. Like, is this a shtick? Like, I'm like, why would you go there and get disrespected? And it took a little while to figure out, like, this is a shtick.
Yeah. Right.
You know what I mean?
And initially, none of us knew that that was a thing.
I was like, what's going on?
Yeah, I was like very confused. Like, why would you want to go somewhere that, you know, doesn't want to platform you or like respect you? But then, you know, then you find out later, maybe it worked. Because look, it fooled all of us.
Yeah, for sure. And again, it goes back to we all like to be entertained. And I like funny shit. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah, we love it.
But... You know, Tyler has said something recently, and this is why I believed in Genius so much, because when I got to Genius was the website with the annotations, and it was great. Mm-hmm. And when I got there is the beginning, and shout out to Brendan and Liz, and it was the beginning of building content over there. And hey, artists can come in and they were doing interviews with Genius before, but doing something that real more front and center. And at the time, my motivation at least was like, I wanted to give you the alternative. Like, I felt like that artists couldn't come. Artists were doing interviews and they never talk about the actual music. You might spend a year, 8 months to a year recording an album, and then you do an interview at radio, at wherever, and you only talk about the music for 5 minutes.
I know.
And then you talk about everything else. And so I was like, hey, I didn't want to replace that. I wanted to give you the option, like, hey, this is where you come talk about the music. So that's what we built at Genius. That's what I felt we built. You know, some of verified, like, you know, we get the criticism like verified where people break down the lyrics. It was like, well, you didn't really need to explain that song. It was very self-explanatory. So there's an entertainment element.
Right.
Like, not everything is that deep, but you know.
But you talked about Wayne giving you a gem on one of the CeeLo Goody Mob records.
Yeah, I forgot what.
It was the Who's That Peeping Through My Window.
Yeah.
Because you were interviewing Wayne and 2 Chainz during the pandemic for their record. And Wayne, like, I think you were going to get them on Verified.
Yeah.
But Wayne broke down Goody Mob's Cell Therapy.
Yeah.
And he's, Pow, okay, so the song goes, Who's That Peeping Through My Window? Mm-hmm. Pow, you think he's shooting somebody. Right. Like, oh, somebody's looking through my window. Wayne was like, no, it's a prisoner of war. Right. Because that whole song is about being in your own prison. Trapped in,
Bro. But it's amazing because we're all fans of something, right?
Right.
Like I almost love to see, I love watching Wayne, him and Missy, the moments that they have together because he's such a fan. Oh, yeah. I tell Ross this all the time. Like, you ever talk to Rick Ross and he'd be like, man, it reminds me of Eric B. and Rakim. And then he just go off on, you can just see him going off to his younger. Yeah, I love to see, like, we're not too cool to be fans of our own.
Yes.
And Tyler has said something recently where he was telling artists, yo, like, don't stop doing the sneaker shopping. Like, go talk about your music. First of all, I love sneaker shopping as a show. Right. Shout out to Joe LaPuma. I'm a big sneakerhead. And I feel Tyler though, but yes, go someplace to talk about your music. You know, he's like, oh, you're eating the hot wings. You're going to we're doing everything except talking about the music. And again, you know how many times I pitched for Tyler to come to Genius to do something, and it didn't have to be verified, it didn't have to be this and it. Man, I pitched them all. Like, you know, I've had, you know, one of my, and thank God she did it, but like, you know, I had to sit down with Mariah Carey.
Oh yes.
Well, we just talked about this before she goes to the Songwriters Hall of Fame, where we just talk about her process as a songwriter. Like Mariah said, even on camera, this is one of the best interviews I ever done.
Right.
Like,
because you respect the pen game.
Nah, but because her pen game is ill. Like,
That's right.
Let's not forget about, like, it's more than Christmas.
19 number ones, 18 she wrote. Put some respect on MC.
So for me, and look, we did that was a series that we had called Genius Level. So I did one with DJ Premier, which was great. I did one with The Dream. One of the big questions I had for Dream was, Dream writes amazing records for women.
Yep.
And it was like, as a man, how do you get yourself in that mood to write like a single ladies or just...
Right.
And so, you know, he talked about, because I grew up and it was just my mother and my aunts. And so I'm listening to conversations I shouldn't hear. So I pick up on the things that are important to women in relationships. So it's just breaking down that pride. And I love those conversations. So we did one for DJ Premier. We did one for Dream. We did one with Nicki Minaj. We did one with T-Pain. We did one with Mariah Carey, right? And those are all amazing interviews. I pitched that series to like,
everybody
who you can think like Mary J. Blige,
right?
Jay-Z, I pitched that twice a year,
right?
Missy, Janet Jackson, I want that. That was it was almost like This Is Your Life, but in lyric form or in creative form, and we went through different aspects, but where you were creatively when you came up with that, you wrote that, why you did that. Like, I wanted to give that to everybody.
Right.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
That's so awesome.
But everybody ain't want it.
Right.
And, you know, I get it.